I just seen Westworld season 4, episode 5. I'm gonna say this for probably not for the last time. I'm gonna say it again. All these channels out there that describe to you what the Westworld episodes mean, they're talking about the plot. That's not the point of the show. The point of all 4 seasons of Westworld was to tell you to your face a full disclosure of that the world you think you live in is not what it is. You've been conditioned, you've been deceived.
That your place here is not what you think it is.
And everything you think is real is not real. They constantly, 4 seasons in a row, have asked you, have you ever questioned the nature of your own reality?
What?
Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality?
They don't just do it once, they don't just do it twice, they do it repeatedly. Have you questioned the nature of your own reality?
This is the first step in understanding.
Understanding what?
This world is a lie.
And so after 4 seasons, what must be mind-blowing to Christopher Nolan and Lisa Joy, or whoever writes these episodes, is that they said it to your face for 4 seasons, and like 90% of you still think it's a show about robots.
It's a story. A well-told one, but a lie all the same.
And a theme park. It's not a show about robots and a theme park.
Maybe it's better if I just showed you. Come with me.
You don't, these channels that are talking about the plot and trying to figure out Delos and this, and some people, they watch the episodes and they go, I don't get it. They say, I don't get it, even after I told them the purpose of the show is a disclosure about reality.
You still having nightmares?
Let's just say I am glad to be awake and in the real world.
Sometimes the things that feel most real are just stories.
What?
And it's like they just dismiss what I say, as if I didn't say it, as if I didn't tell them since 2015, 2016 when the first season came out. And what's mind-blowing is that this is hard for people to grasp. They tell you to your face over and over again.
Humans are so bound by what they can hear, they'll never understand what they don't.
And you still don't get it. You still don't believe Lippy.
The resonance, vibration. There was a frequency at which the world vibrated. It caused joy, harmony. Dip below that frequency, chaos.
You still don't believe me. Or you watch for the plot. You think the show is actually for a plot.
There's something wrong with the world. And that it's her fault.
You think it's actually for a plot. You think you... Season 4, episode 5, they disclosed everything. I don't even know where they go from here. They told you everything. They told you everything.
Change. We're capable of so much more.
All right, and when he tells Dolores that she could change anything,
I guess they look lonely.
So change it. Close your eyes and imagine their story differently.
her name's Christine in the thing. It's the law of attraction, and it's also what you've been told your whole life. You know, the other night earlier today, I was looking at some of the things on my counter, and I realized that, you know, you hear that line in your head, you know, anything you could think of can become reality. And you think, yeah, but well, part of you thinks, oh, that's such a beautiful thing to hear. And another part is like, oh, that's just wishful thinking. But if you look at everything that exists, how bizarre a compact disc is, a laser beam shooting a piece of plastic produces digital sound.
There's a beauty to this world, an order. That's what we like to believe. We're not wrong.
Or even crazier, decades before, they invented a record. You ever look at a record, and then a VHS, a VCR. You put the VCR tape in, and you look inside the VCR and all that. That's how that all works, and nobody knows how any of that works.
There is an order, a grand design. We made sure of that.
Laser discs But those are just those things. And you think about a computer, you think about all the parts in the computer, but those are, even those, it's not that impressive. You think about those gigantic bridges, some of the skyscrapers that there are.
Before it's over, tell me one thing. Is this at least real?
All the parts inside of a car. Look at the engineering that goes into a car.
He was an accountant in Midtown, successful, 2 kids, divorce, pretty standard backstory.
Not even those. Just look at infrastructure. Look at everything that exists. None of us really know how to design any of it. If any of us, we all know how to maybe do a part of one thing.
We're the last free humans. But these poor fucks, they use them as entertainment.
So how did they organize all these people together to build all this neat stuff? But let alone that, everything else, the distribution, the retail, the packaging.
The loops make them compliant by keeping them busy. Stops them from questioning their realities.
The landscaping, the everything is miraculous that we've created, we as humans have created. But then there's the natural part, the freaking blue sky and the clouds.
Did I really play any part in it? Or am I just the sum total of my code?
And the wacky creatures in the ocean itself, the properties of water. Pick up some water in your hand.
Am I just fooling myself? Like you?
And take a look at it. Plasma, wind, invisible wind. Wind is invisible.
People in the city move in pre-scripted loops, following whatever plot's been written for them.
They even made a movie called The Adjustment Bureau. So when you kind of go off the trail, they come and they fix everything back into the narrative.
But the game's already begun.
Wait, what game?
Whenever a human breaches, the hosts hunt them for support. We gotta get to her before they do.
The news manufactures narratives. They don't make news, they make narratives. These narratives are there to train your mind on what to believe.
I thought that was you. What the hell are you doing up so early?
I have to get to work to finish those narratives.
They've been so successful at it. And back when I was being trained for the media, they told us you have to choose a side and be polarizing. And at the time, I was young and naive, kind of like the normies. And I thought, wait a minute, aren't we supposed to be objective?
I don't understand.
It's what I've been trying to show you. What Peter was trying to tell you. In this world, you're a god.
And they're like, no. Before you create your story, you have to determine what is your angle, what is your narrative that you're trying to push upon the audience.
Enough kidding around.
Then what's my name, friend?
And I'm like, I'm just trying to report on some dogs, like a dog story. No. You have to have an angle. I don't remember where I heard this, but in order to completely control the entire population, everything down to the most foundational concept.
When we're done, you won't remember a thing. Like your flesh closing around a splinter.
He comes to see her and he lets her know, hey, you control all this. And when you think about it, if you've seen the movie Vanilla Sky, do you remember when the guy visits Tom Cruise and he says, you know, David, you control all of these people. And Tom Cruise says, oh yeah? Yeah, if I control them, I just want them all to just shut the up. And they all do. Don't you see, David? You control all of this. And so Dolores' boyfriend lets her know that, hey, you know, you have the powers to control everything. You could change the way you could change the reality.
You have no control, and yet you're so assured that you do.
Throughout the first 4 episodes, her job is to create narratives. Narratives! They're called narratives. They weren't called storylines.
It's not scripted for you. It's genuine, isn't it? It's beautiful, really. A beautiful lie.
Narratives. You won't know it unless you've been part of it. And I don't even remember when this happened, but there's been multiple projects that I've been on with people that are in, I guess, the industry. And instead of telling the truth, their entire goal was to, this is in real life, was to manufacture a narrative that wasn't true, manufacture a complete false reality, and perpetuate it upon the population over and over again to replace whatever they once believed with what the replacement narrative is.
I found him first. I won the game. I'm entitled to some reward.
This is Hope.
Aren't I?
2 years old, scheduled to transcend next week.
I won the game, and all I got was more of this?
So Dolores, she creates narratives, and these narratives control what the people in the show think.
So I'm supposed to pretend.
Yes. But you can't trust anyone. People you think you know, people at work. Any one of them could be one of us.
Now, how do you relate that to real world? Every person you know, even me to a certain extent, believes in a false narrative of reality. Come on, John. No, every single one of you, if you're employed with a occupation, occupy. In this same episode of Westworld, they talk about we keep people in these loops. We keep them working to occupy their minds so they won't figure out what is going on.
But he was right. This world doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense.
So if you work an occupation, a predefined occupation in which when you were in school, when you were trained and conditioned, what did they say? What do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a businessman, a politician. The exact minds of the people we're trying to free, but until they are ready, they are still part of this system.
There's no rule against that.
We have no rules because we don't often need them. Most of us understand the need for a little self-control, however.
Now, if you're watching my videos, you probably already know all this. But I guess show this to your normie friends to wake them up. And the reason why I'm acting a little nutty right now is because I thought for sure after this episode people would finally get it. But no. I come to discover that they're still watching Westworld for the plot.
I'm not sure you appreciated this place. The work that went into it. The beauty of it.
I told you all in 2016, this is a show. It's not a show about robots. I mean, it's a show about robots, but that's not the point of the show. The point of the show is the disclosure. They constantly ask you, have you questioned the nature of your own reality?
There are no rules here. That's the point.
And apparently the audience hasn't. Why? It's one thing if you're just some normie out there, but it's a whole other thing to have known me for years and still not question the nature of your own reality.
But there are also no rules for what I can do to those who don't respect this place.
So, watch Westworld episode 4, season 4, episode 5. Do not watch it for the storyline.
If we're not like them, who are we?
Do not watch it for Delos or Dolores or the man with the black hat.
Have you had any interactions recently with new people? People who put ideas in your head?
Or any of that. Watch it as the show was this dude, Christopher Nolan. Is he related to the other Nolan, the one that made the Batman movies and Inception? I mean, how are you not connecting these dots?
This is why I couldn't just tell you. Your mind has been so conditioned to this place.
Not only that, Ed Harris, the actor, he was in The Truman Show saying that people don't question, that people just accept the reality of which they've been presented.
Wait. You said there's a walled garden. You mean a closed system, don't you?
You know, there's some people that watch The Truman Show for the plot and not for a total and thorough disclosure of our fake reality.
This world is just a story. I'm the storyteller.
And then they don't draw the connection that Ed Harris had the same exact lines in that movie that he did in Westworld.
What I don't understand is what part I play in it. You have questions?
And remember, in Truman Show, when every time Truman tried to leave the boundaries, somebody came along to bring him back into the fold. And in Westworld, anytime the characters, the outliers or whatever, once they drift off, then they have people to bring them back into the fold. And then Hale, the leader, she keeps checking up on Dolores every single week to see if anything's changed.
What am I? I used to ask myself the same thing.
So think about in your own life, what happens when you change who you are slightly, when you change your interests, and what happens? Everybody around you gets all paranoid. They start questioning, hey, what's going on? You seem a little different. What's going on there? Hey, you seem a little bit changed. You okay? Is everything okay? Anything change? What's going on?
What do you think of your world? This isn't my world. It's hers.
Right? And in the episode, the guy tells Dolores, you can't trust anybody because everybody you encounter might be in on it.
But you can't trust anyone. People you think you know, people at work. Any one of them could be one of us.
I've had encounters with the Adjustment Bureau, at least, I mean, for sure once, but I feel like I've had it many other times throughout life. The container that we're in, the continents, the land, there's no quicksand, but we are in a gigantic obstacle course. And I don't know, I guess everybody is so occupied and everybody is so conditioned that you don't even see the grand miraculousness to it.
They have the whole world in there.
Not only that, Hale controls all the people with frequencies and sounds, and people are controlled with frequencies and sounds. You know, think back to like the Pied Piper.
Who built this?
And think about how rhythms control people and how people just want to turn off their brains and dance.
Who did this to me?
You did.
And just and pretend. There's so much. Look. You got to snap out of it, and you got to get everybody you know to snap out of it. We got to figure out what this reality is. I'm sick and tired. I enjoy Westworld and I enjoy the philosophizing and all that, but we need to get past the philosophizing and start to say, hey guys, kind of like, okay, in Severance, one of the episodes when the macro data refinery met with optics and whatever, when John Turturro's group met up with, they visited Christopher Walken's group, and they started comparing notes on what they thought the world that they were in was, because they're in that giant building, and they have their memories erased. So they all had to like share parts of the reality together to figure out what is going on. And that's what we need to do, is acknowledge like, hey, you know what? What we were told all this is, it isn't. It was a huge lie. So knowing that, we now need to figure out what this all is. On top of that, know that there's going to be forces that are going to try to, one, tell us that we're crazy. Two, try to distract us and get us off track. Three, create disinformation. So they'll let us know like, oh yeah, you figured it out, huh? And then present us probably the wrong information that they control, so that for another 100 years we're chasing the wrong thing. So that's where we need to get to. Snap out of it. Even if you have to be part of your loop, because, you know, we're in this money mechanism system, where the monetary system, everybody's controlled with artificial scarcity, fake money. The money is literally fake stuff. It's fake. It's pieces of paper. And you have to trade your hours to get the paper. And if you do the calculations, the amount of money that you make based on the time, you'll never have enough to break free. So in a different way, we're also in a modern day slavery system. So there's a lot that we need to figure out, and you need to knock it off and stop looking for the plot. Know that Westworld is giving you the disclosure. It's giving you, it's spoon feeding it to you. If you're awake enough to see it, you have to read between, you have to pay attention, but they're letting you know, and they're giving you hints. So anyway, that's that. Whatever you thought of the first 4 episodes, whatever, episode 5, on point. 10 out of 10 tinfoil hats. Total disclosure. It lets you know that you're living in an illusion. That's first off. 2, that you have powers that you don't know about. 3, that you could control it. 4, that there's narratives that are manufactured that govern your life and your reality and everything you think about everything. 5, that there's also people observing you to make sure that you don't fall off track. And a bunch of other stuff. So, all right, it's nighttime. If this didn't wake you up, I don't know what the heck else I got to do.
Maybe it's time you question the nature of your own reality.